And then Isaiah says next, behold also his justice. Look at verse 14 of our main text. Isaiah chapter 40, verse 14. Whom did he consult? Obvious rhetorical answer, no one. Who made him understand? Again, no one. Look at this. Who taught him the path of justice and taught him knowledge and showed him the way of understanding? Justice is a word we use a lot these days. Talking about justice constantly in our culture. Everybody thinks they understand what justice is. Everybody thinks they have a pretty good, central comprehension of what it would mean to live in a just society. Everybody has their opinions on these matters. Forget about the fact that justice is actually a pretty complex topic if you think about all that's implied in justice, civics and government and ethics and sexuality and taxation and just war and penal law and violence. There's a lot involved in justice, and everybody believes that they are the one person who has it figured out, right? Everybody thinks things. They may not say it out loud, but they would say things like, if I were God, I wouldn't have allowed that. Well, that's because you'll never be God, and you'll never comprehend all that God comprehends. You put 12 people in a jury box, and you give them the most fair system in the entire world. You give them the most fair legal setting. You bring all of the testimony before them possible, and you can still have 12 people split on what would be the right and just thing to do. Take any court case in the United States, think of some famous court case, whatever it is, and people are going to have a variance of opinions on that matter. It's not implicitly obvious what is just. We have a sense of justice just like we have a sense of smell or a sense of balance. If somebody tips you over, you feel you're off and you correct yourself. We know that there should be justice, but the problem is we often disagree on what it would mean to live in a just society. Nobody knows. Do you? You've got this figured out? And the best evidence that our society is utterly and completely confused on what it means to have justice is that most of us totally disagree on what it would look like if we even created a just society. We used to have slavery. That was wicked. We changed that. Then we had unjust laws related to segregation. We changed that. Now we're trying to live into Martin Luther King Jr.'s vision of colorblindness. That was an improvement in my view. Now we're headed back to segregation. What are we doing? No society that legalizes abortion has the right to lecture anybody about what is just. If we are that corrupt of mind and of heart that we legalize the murdering of our children, then what does this society even know about the first thing of justice? It's almost as though, check this out, it's almost as though there should be a law that's higher than the opinions of men. It's almost as though there ought to be a law that transcends the swirling trash bin of man's ideas of what a just society might be like. It's almost as though there should be a divine law. And in fact, there is. And God says, I claim justice. I am the source of all true justice. And so Isaiah says, stare into that at a soul deep level.